Hello, this is GamerX20 and welcome to a two-part episode and the Season 1 finale of Gaming Memories. First off, I'm sorry that it took so long, about 2 or 3 months. Why? Because I was busy at university doing lots of work, like essays, animation, and all of that stuff. But now I'm back and here to review 2 racing games that I played a lot back in my childhood days. And believe it or not, both of them were published by Activision. Like I said in my last video, one for the PS1 and the other one for the PS2. Well, today, in the first part of the review, I'm going to tackle the PS2 racing game first, and that is SuperCar Street Challenge.
Released on the PS2 in November 30th, 2001, and was ported to Microsoft Windows somewhere between late 2001 or early 2002. I couldn't find the release date of the Windows version. And developed by Exact Entertainment, which was the first game that they ever developed. Now, if you don't know where this company came from, it's an American video game developer founded in 1999, based in Los Angeles, California. And that's it. After the release of the game, they would later go on to do 4 GameCube games, 1 Xbox game, 2 Wii ports of Call of Duty 3 and World at War, 2 iOS games, and that's it. Shortly after, Exact Entertainment all of a sudden disappeared and has never made another game since 2009. Even know if it's defunct or not on the Wikipedia page. But back to topic. I can't find any information or how it was developed and what came up with the idea of it. So consider it to be a mystery. The game received mixed reviews back when it was released, and was forgotten till now.
So, is it good as I remember it to be? Let's give it a go. Also, there will be no story segments this time because it's a racing game, and it has no story sometimes. Duh. So yeah, let's get started off with the graphics.
It's okay, but it's a little bit shell shaded during the daytime weather, but at the night and rain time you can barely see it, making it a little empty. The designs of the cars are well done. There are some few spots that is noticeable, but quickly ignored. And as for the background and scenery, it's not too bad, since this was the first game that Exact developed. And all I could say is that it's not too bad, but could use some more work on it. This is going to be short than 1 minute, because I really have nothing to say about it, but what I could tell you is the menu font is okay. The track selection is nice. The selection of the Create a Car looks great and a little bit meh. The font on the manual is generic, but like I said, first game. And the techno style intro FMV is a great opening and even shows the Create a Car section, which is a nice touch. Overall, the presentation is good. Enough said. The soundtrack does come off generic techno music sometimes, and could be a hit and miss sometimes. But for me, it's a huge hit, and a underrated soundtrack for the PS2. Take a listen. and want to hear more of the soundtrack, I suggest you go onto YouTube and find the rest of the music. First, the positives. The tracks look unique in their own way, like the morning of LA, or the sunny day of Monaco, or the rain time of coldness of Turin, or the night skies of Munich. There are some few shortcuts in almost every single track, some good, some bad, and some meh. I'll talk about the shortcuts later in the negatives. The Create a Car, which is the main highlight of the game, is actually good and well done. It's literally like making your very own dream car. And last is the controls. It's okay, but there are some few problems with, thus the positivity comes to an end and the beginning with the negatives. And that is the moving of your car. For some reason, it moves very wonky most of the time. The acceleration takes forever, like a few seconds, if you're starting out with a beginner's car. And the brakes are downright awful. No matter how many times I brake, I still hit a wall and lose all my speed. It's that bad. And when you go fast with a much speedier car, your controls sometimes could feel lightheaded and can accidentally slip if you're about to make a turn, or need to be focused on a straight path. And do you remember I said about the shortcuts? Well, they're not that good, and even sometimes very difficult, because most of them comes across a short and narrow path, and you need to slow down at times. And even with that, you'll still come across in last place. I'm not saying all of them are terrible, but it does come off as a much more harder path rather than shortcuts. I think they should have scrapped all of it, cause there's no purpose and feels pointless to have them, especially if you're driving on a much faster car. And finally, when you win the race each time in the championship cup, you get new stuff like new car parts for the creative car, or new color details for each car you win. And after you beat all the cups and championships, what do you get? Nothing at all. Aside from the Spider-Man and Venom color texture to the faster cars, it's just a congratulations text of beating the game. Well, that's pathetic. I know it's not that big of a deal, but can it at least get something after beating all the cups? Maybe bonus tracks or something? No? Okay then, on to my opinions.
So, what are my final thoughts? It's a very huge disappointment. Don't get me wrong, I do like some parts of the game, like the Create a Car, the music, the unlockables, and the track all have a unique flavor to it. But it's the execution that overweights the good, and that is the controls, which are not that good or well functioned. When I was a kid, I knocked over walls and stuff. Maybe I was just bad at turning, but now replaying this game again, it's the controls, not me. So yeah, I don't blame myself. I know this is the first game Exact ever made, but can they at least try to manage the controls right? Next, the shortcuts are not perfect. Despite some good ones, it really feels pointless to have these and should have been removed altogether. And finally, there's really nothing else left aside from playing multiplayer, but again, bad controls. And really, there's no replay valuable for it, and a forgetful one too. for me, I'll always have fond memories playing this game, but I can't let nostalgia take over. It could have been improved more if Exact had more time on it, but it feels rushed and, at the very end, a waste of opportunity. I give SuperCar Street Challenge a 2 out of 6. It's not the worst racing game out there, but it's still a waste of opportunity. However, if you still want to check it out, I only recommend to die-hard retro racing fans to give it a try. As for the rest, you're not missing out. Anyways, next time I'll review the other one for the PS1. But unlike the PS2 one, I really played this a lot as a kid, even more than SuperCar Street Challenge. And that game is Car and Driver presents Grand Tour Racing 98. Why is it so special? Well, I'll tell you it in the next part. So, this is GamerX20, and I'll see you in part 2. Thanks for watching.